Political philosopher Robert Nozick has one of the most fascinating thought experiments. He says, imagine there is a slave and there's a master who is very brutal. He has him in bondage and he beats him up every single day and takes away 100% of the products of his labor. Then the master lights up a bit and he beats him up only 6 days every week, and the slave has 1 day off. Then the master tells him, look, you will only work 3 days every week. Then at another stage, the master tells him, look, you don't even have to live in the plantation anymore. You can go and live wherever you want, but for 3 days every week, the equivalent of how much you were working when you were in the plantation, the products of your labor are mine. And I have the right to recall you, and I have the right to raise this quota. Then at some point, other people who are like our friend the slave have even a right to vote on their working conditions, and then at another stage, our friend the slave can even cast the decisive vote if there is a tie on what will be the working conditions, except that there never has been a tie. And Nozick asks the mind-blowing question, at what point did this story stop being the story of a slave? At what point did our friend the slave become free? And was there even such a point where our friend the slave became free? So this is another way of putting the thought experiment that says, if 100% of your work taken away from you is bondage, slavery, if 100% taxation, to put it differently, is slavery, then what percentage is not slavery? So for example, if people say 80% of taxation is unacceptable, then why is 20% acceptable? Doesn't it mean that someone comes and tells, look, for that 20% of the time that you worked, that 20% is mine. Your work was mine involuntarily. So if you think about it, our freedom means that we can do the products, the intellectual and material products of our mind are ours, and we can dispose them in any way we want. And if this is the case, then how is it possible that taxation can not be considered coercion? And I don't want to use the term slavery because it's very loaded, but how is it possible that it is compatible with freedom? So check out The Tale of the Slave. It's in Nozick's Anarchy, State and Utopia, and I think it's quite good thought. It's quite good food for thought.